For this video, I'm going to be going over the co-op feature premiere for MLB The Show 22, going over things you might have missed, but just summarizing everything that was in the feature premiere, all the new information, all in one, hopefully shorter video. So if y'all could do me a favor, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're not already on the road to 100,000 subscribers, and in the comment section below, let me know your first thoughts, your feedback, your initial thoughts and hopes, expectations for co-op mode. Any thoughts that you have, though, leave them in the comment section, and I'll probably share my thoughts on this feature premiere co-op mode at the end of the video. So right away, I just want to go over what a feature premiere is. Basically, every week on Thursdays, today was Wednesday, a little bit different, but on Thursdays from now on at 3 p.m. Pacific, they're going to be doing a live stream on Twitch and YouTube, which will cover one of the new and or improved features, this one being co-op mode for MLB The Show 22, just going through a deep dive, giving us all the information, details that they want to, and just explaining and going over certain details about certain things. Every week has its own topic. This first one again was for the new co-op mode, which is 2 versus 2 or 3 versus 3, and you can play with your friends on all consoles, and all consoles can play together because of cross-play and cross-platform progression, everything like that. So if you're on Nintendo Switch, you could play with somebody on PS4 and somebody on Xbox Series X or S, right? You can play with all your friends or randoms, and that will be available for this mode, just like last year with every other mode. They said that their thinking behind introducing this mode was to improve the social experience of MLB The Show, as well as encouraging gameplay with your friends, as well as just random players being able to team up rather than only facing off versus your friends or versus random people. So this is a way to get the player base being more social with each other, which I love. I think this is a great step, and this gives me hope for maybe next year a 9 versus 9 Sandlot style type of mode with your ball players, but that's probably just some wishful thinking from me. You can play this mode starting tomorrow, February 17th at around 10 a.m. Pacific on the tech test. Go to theshow.com/tech test for all the information, and you should be able to download the tech test on any of the consoles through their store, the PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, Nintendo Store, stuff like that. And then the last piece of information before we get into the mode and gameplay itself is that the gameplay, from what you're seeing from their feature premiere, they mentioned a few times that it is an advanced build. It is a newer build than the tech test. So what you're seeing in the tech test will probably be a little bit different from what you're seeing in this video, that feature premiere, and then obviously will be different from what we see from the final product of the game. Now, there are 5 steps to this co-op mode. First of all, you got to choose if you're doing 2v2 or 3v3, but the steps are: find teammates, select your team, select your stadium, find your opponents, and then set your lineup. We're going to get into all of these a little bit later here in this video, and this is a little bit different versus Diamond Dynasty co-op. What you guys are seeing first is going to be the just casual main teams, normal real MLB teams co-op mode, and that does differ a little bit from the Diamond Dynasty version of the co-op mode, which we'll cover later in this video. So like I said, the first step is finding teammates, and you can play with friends or randoms. You don't have to play with friends. If you don't have any friends, you can play with random people. You do not need friends to play this mode, so I think that's really exciting to hear. Each team will have a captain that chooses the team, finds opponent, deals with bullpen management, other managerial stuff like that during the game. The captain is the first person who enters the mode, who invites their friends, everything like that. However, if you want to invite your friends and make them the captain, that is a thing. The captain is able to be reassigned if whoever was that first person doesn't actually want to be the captain. However, once you start the game, the captain can't be changed. They will be the captain for the entire game, which again means they'll be controlling the bullpen, substitutions, I think shifting, and everything like that. There is a text chat to chat with your teammates, as well as voice chat. So that's huge that they finally added some voice chat to MLB The Show. I think it's only with your teammates. I really wish you could talk to your opponents, whether it's through voice or text, but I feel like that's a big first step, and I think it's awesome that you can talk to your teammates with text chat, but also I really like that they added voice chat for this mode as well. The second step is going to be selecting your team, and we'll get to the Diamond Dynasty version where you can use Diamond Dynasty cards and use your team that way later in this video. But the first one is you're just selecting a real team for this version of the co-op mode. Third step is going to be selecting a stadium, and they mentioned, which I felt like was kind of a big deal, honestly, that Ship It Stadium. I'm sure most of you, if you've played MLB The Show before or watched MLB The Show content, know that's where a lot of people play, because it's a shorter ballpark in terms of how deep the fences are, but also the elevation's pretty high. I think they said that the Ship It Stadium was normally in Denver for its geolocation or whatever, but they changed that, and now the elevation is not nearly as high as what they said in the feature premiere. The fourth step is choosing your online challenge settings, which includes stuff like the difficulty, and then you got to find your opponent and everything like that with those settings, and they would have similar settings as you. And then the fifth and final step before actually getting into the gameplay is choosing your lineup, and this is going to be done by your team's captain. They're going to be the one choosing all the important settings. However, the lineup selection and everything like that is a little bit different in the Diamond Dynasty version of co-op, which we'll get to later in this video. Real quick on the lineup screen, I thought it was interesting that you could see the handedness of the pitcher. I'm hoping that's not actually in the game. I'm hoping they decide to change that, and I'm really hoping that if that is a thing, that we're not seeing it back in BR ranked seasons, stuff like that, because I felt like that was overall a bad thing, being able to see the handedness of your opponent's pitcher when selecting your lineup. I know people feel differently about it, but for online play, I'm personally in the group that does not like being able to see the handedness of your pitcher. So then you actually get into the gameplay itself, and one of the first things I noticed was that it looks like different players can have different day and night settings. However, we saw this as a glitch in online gameplay some in MLB 21, so I'm wondering if that's intended or if that's just a glitch that happened to be in this feature premiere. I really don't know. You can see the HUD in the top left, which shows different icons. They have the red one, which is going to be showing that that player, that user, is the pitcher and the catcher for that inning. The blue one is showing that that player is the infield positions, and then the yellow one is going to be the outfield positions. And these are switching every single inning, so it's not like one person is the pitcher the entire game. They're only doing it for an inning at a time. And then in the 2v2 mode, it's pretty much the same thing, except one player is the pitcher and the catcher, and then the other player is all the other positions. So rather than those positions being split up among the other two, in 2v2 you got one less person, so it's just all that other player's responsibility. Now, it wasn't super clear to me, but it sounded like for hitting, they mentioned that you're just going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? It's just going to switch every single time. The text chat and the voice chat, which I'm pretty sure they didn't specifically say, unless I missed it, that this is for teammates only, but it is also available during the game, both the text and the voice chat. It's not only on that pregame screen, it's during the gameplay as well. As a teammate to a pitcher or a base runner, whatever, you're able to suggest certain things to your teammate. For example, they have a pitch suggest feature in the co-op mode where you can suggest a pitch to your pitcher by holding down R2 and then selecting a pitch and location. If you're a fielder, you want to be like, hey, throw this pitch in this location. You can do that if you want to. And I mentioned this earlier, but in co-op mode, the captain has all the manager's controls, such as bullpen management, pinch hitting, stuff like that. So in the top left, those player icons and usernames during fielding and pitching were showing what that player was doing at that time, and it does the same thing when you're hitting. It just has your normal icon if you're not participating, but if you are a hitter or a base runner, then it's going to be showing you as a hitter or a base runner in that top left next to your name. One of their main focuses that they mentioned for this mode, and I think that's partly where the suggesting feature comes in, is they wanted it to feel like everyone who is in the mode is participating, playing a role, rather than just sitting there doing nothing, watching other people play. They wanted everybody to be involved for every pitch of the ball game if that's what they wanted to do. Now, as I mentioned earlier, co-op is also available in Diamond Dynasty, and with it being a different mode, you know, it's Diamond Dynasty versus normal, it has a different set of steps. These set of steps are inviting your friends, creating your squad, then setting a lineup, finding opponents, and selecting your pitcher. Now, in Diamond Dynasty co-op versus the other co-op that we were talking about with real teams, instead of selecting a real team, you pick and choose Diamond Dynasty cards that you personally and your teammates personally have unlocked and own within MLB The Show Diamond Dynasty, which I think is awesome. There's new card art for the Diamonds, obviously live series card art as well, and then they also showcased a couple of the new legends and and their card art for some of their cards as well, and some gameplay from those new legends. When creating your squad in 2 versus 2, you each get to choose 6 players, and you cannot select the same players as your teammate has selected. And then in 3 versus 3, each player gets to choose 4 cards instead of 6 like you can in 2v2. So everybody gets to choose the same amount of cards. You can't choose the same one as your teammate. And then the rest of the squad, because obviously that doesn't get you a full 25-man roster, and the rest of your squad is going to be filled with live series players. I think they said golds, silvers, and bronzes, but I wasn't 100% sure. I'm going to have to go back and listen to it. But the rest of your team will be live series guys. Paralleled cards are back in MLB The Show 22, and you can also use those cards in this co-op mode. For example, if someone has a parallel 5 Byron Buxton and the other teammate has a parallel 3 Byron Buxton, whichever player is the one that selects Byron Buxton in their 6 or their 4 players that they're choosing, it will go with that person's parallel. It doesn't automatically take the highest, it's just taking the version of the player that actually selected him. And same thing as earlier, but I wanted to mention it again. Same thing with Diamond Dynasty. It appears you can see the handedness of your team's pitcher, which I still don't know if I like. However, it is for co-op mode, and they haven't said if that will be back for ranked seasons, BR events, stuff like that. The starting pitcher is actually random, it appears, for the co-op mode, which I thought was kind of interesting. They also mentioned that your opposing team will always be random. You cannot, it sounds like, play versus friends with your own friends, right? You can't combine 2 teams. Your opponent will always be random. However, they did make it sound like eventually you will be able to face friends, but they didn't make it clear to me if that was coming this year, like later this year will be patched in, or if that's something that we have to wait until next year for. It wasn't really clear, but at least at launch and for the tech test, your opposing team for co-op mode, whether it's Diamond Dynasty or Play Now, is always going to be random for that opposing team. And then the final piece of information is that there will be no rewards while playing this mode at launch. It's starting out as a casual experience. I'm pretty bummed to hear that personally, because I feel like it means I won't be playing it that often. I think it can still be a fun time. However, I think it would be nicer if rewards were available. And they did say that rewards are in the plans for co-op mode, and they'll be coming real soon is what they said. But first, they wanted themselves as well as the community to be happy with the mode and feel like the mode is in a good state gameplay wise and just in general before they start tying rewards to the mode. And then with that being the last piece of information in the feature premiere, we did not get any more new legends revealed today, even though we already got Joe Mauer and Justin Morneau. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I love making these videos every year. It actually gives me something to be excited about rather than trying to put out MLB 21 gameplays that I'm just really not feeling. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I can't wait to see your thoughts in the comments section about co-op mode. What are you thinking? What are your expectations? Anything like that? Like, comment, subscribe, social medias, all that good stuff. I'll see you next time. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Peace out.